Welcome back to CalmSpectre. I'm glad you're here tonight. If you've come to unwind, to escape the noise of the day, or simply to drift gently towards sleep, you're in the right place. Tonight we're taking a quiet, private walk through one of the most famous museums in the world, the American Museum of Natural History in New York City. But unlike a normal visit, there are no crowds, no chatter, no footsteps echoing through the halls. Just you, the softly lit galleries, and the gentle, calming feeling of wandering through history at your own pace. So take a deep breath, settle in, let your shoulders drop just a little, and imagine the peaceful world we're about to step into together. This is a night at the museum, a calm story for sleep. Let's begin. Arriving at the museum after hours. It's late evening in New York City. The usual energy, the traffic, the voices, the fast pace feels distant now. The sky above Central Park is deep blue, almost black, with the soft glow of the city blending into it like a quiet halo. As you approach the museum, its massive facade rises before you, tall stone columns, warm light spilling over the steps, and the sense that inside these walls time slows down. The huge bronze doors are slightly open, waiting for you. A gentle draft of cool air touches your face as you step inside, a mix of polished stone, old books, and that distinct museum smell, something between dust, stories, and memories. Inside, everything is still. The grand entrance hall is lit only by soft golden lights that reflect on the marble floor. Your footsteps echo lightly, but not sharply, just a smooth, warm sound that seems to blend into the quiet. For a moment, you simply stand there, breathing in the atmosphere. The museum at night feels almost like a living thing, not awake, not asleep, something in between. Then slowly you begin to walk deeper inside. The empty rotunda. You enter the famous rotunda, the large circular hall with its towering ceiling. During the day, it's full of visitors, tour groups, and students. But now, it feels like you've stepped into a gigantic, peaceful cathedral dedicated to nature itself. Above you, faint echoes swirl around the dome. The silence isn't empty, it's comforting, warm, and soft. The kind of quiet you only find in big spaces, meant for learning and reflection. At the center of the room, enormous skeletons stand motionless. The massive Barosaurus rears up dramatically, towering above you like a frozen moment in time, the world's largest mounted dinosaur. But right now, without people staring, without the usual soundtrack of chatter and camera clicks, it feels more like a guardian than a display. You walk slowly around it, looking up at the long neck stretching toward the ceiling. Each bone is lit by a gentle spotlight, creating long shadows that drift across the walls. There's a soothing rhythm to the arrangement, an ancient balance, almost like the creature is still breathing, even though it's been silent for millions of years. Your footsteps echo softly as you circle around the base. The entire hall seems to hum with a calm, deep presence. It's the kind of quiet that makes your mind slow down too, encouraging you to breathe a little deeper, think a little softer, and loosen your grip on everything you carried into the day. You linger for a moment, absorbing the vastness of the space. Then, with unhurried steps, you make your way toward the Hall of African Mammals, one of the museum's most peaceful exhibitions. The Hall of African Mammals. You enter through a dark wooden archway, and instantly the atmosphere shifts. It becomes cozier, warmer, almost like stepping into a quiet lodge somewhere on the edge of a savanna at dusk. The lighting is dim and soft. Golden lamps highlight the ornate dioramas that line the walls. Each one is a window into another world, tall grasses waving in a painted breeze, mountains fading into purple twilight, herds of silent animals frozen mid-step. The centerpiece is the famous herd of African elephants. They stand in the middle of the hall, enormous, calm, and dignified. The matriarch leads them, her trunk low, her presence solemn and reassuring. The soft museum lights catch the curves of their tusks, making them glow faintly. You walk slowly around the display, hearing only the gentle padded sound of your footsteps on the floor. From this angle, with no other visitors, no noise, no rush, it feels like you're truly standing in a quiet clearing in Africa, watching a family of elephants pass by at dusk. The air feels cooler here, almost as if the hall is holding on to the temperature of a late evening in the savannah. You take in the serenity, the soft shadows, the warm tones, the quiet that seems to wrap around you like a blanket. You move toward the next diorama, a pair of lions resting beneath an acacia tree. The male's mane catches the light, giving it a calm, regal presence. The lioness lies beside him, her eyes half closed, as though she's listening to the distant hum of insects on a warm night. Something about this hall feels deeply grounding. The scenes are frozen, yet alive in a quiet, soothing way. Time doesn't exist here, only calm. You keep walking, letting the peaceful atmosphere carry you forward. The North American Mammals Hall. You turn a corner and the environment shifts again. This hall feels cooler, fresher, like stepping into a quiet forest in early morning. The lighting is slightly brighter, but still soft enough to keep everything warm and comfortable. Tall pine trees, rocky cliffs, snowy fields, all perfectly still inside the glass dioramas. These displays are quieter in a different way. Where the African hall felt warm, dusty, and golden, this one feels crisp and peaceful. You pause at a scene of a moose standing beside a reflective painted lake. The backdrop shows dawn breaking over a forest, with soft pink and blue clouds stretching across the horizon. The moose stands still, almost meditative, as if listening to the first birds of the morning. As you breathe in, you almost imagine the coolness of the early forest air. It's refreshing, calming, and effortless. Further down, a family of wolves is gathered on a snowy ridge. The alpha stands tall, head slightly lowered, watching over the others. Their fur is illuminated with gentle white blue light, giving the scene a dreamy quality, almost like a winter lullaby. You take your time with each scene, letting your eyes wander slowly, discovering small details you'd never notice during a daytime visit. A patch of moss here, a distant mountain painted in perfect soft focus, the delicate shape of a leaf caught in a moment of stillness. This hall feels like a sanctuary inside a sanctuary, a place to pause, breathe, and let your mind drift. Entering the Hall of Ocean Life. Eventually, you leave the forest behind and walk toward one of the museum's most iconic spaces, the Hall of Ocean Life. The transition is immediate. The air feels cooler. The lights dim softly, and as you step inside, the entire hall opens up in front of you like a calm, deep sea cave. Suspended above you is the massive blue whale, 28 meters long, floating in the air as peacefully as if it were gliding through dark, quiet waters. The lighting is deep blue, almost dreamlike, casting soft ripples of light across the walls. Everything feels slower here, quieter, deeper. You walk under the whale, looking up as the gentle glow outlines its smooth curves. The size is breathtaking, but right now it doesn't feel overwhelming. It feels serene, protective, almost comforting, like the calm heartbeat of the ocean. Around the hall, illuminated dioramas glow softly like underwater windows. Schools of fish suspended in motion, coral reefs shimmering in gentle light, sea creatures drifting through currents that never truly move. The hall feels like a dream, a blue, quiet world where sound fades away and time seems to dissolve. You walk slowly, breathing deeply, matching your steps to the rhythm of the space. Every part of this hall seems designed to soothe the mind. You can almost feel yourself letting go, your shoulders relaxing, your breath softening, your thoughts drifting further into calm. When you reach the end of the hall, you pause one last time beneath the whale. You let the quiet settle into you. Then, gently, you turn toward the next part of the museum, ready to continue this peaceful night walk. Dinosaur halls, fossils, meteorites, ancient cultures, calm, slow, sleep-oriented. You walk out of the blue, dreamlike glow of the ocean hall and step into a softly illuminated corridor. The change is subtle. The air feels slightly warmer again, and the lights become golden, guiding you toward one of the most iconic parts of the museum, the dinosaur halls. Your footsteps echo lightly as you move forward, and with every step, the silence around you grows thicker, deeper, almost sacred. Entering the fossil halls, the hall opens up suddenly, wide and tall, lined with long glass cases and towering skeletal forms. Yet the room isn't bright. It's quiet, calm, bathed in soft amber lighting that makes everything feel timeless. You pause at the entrance. Normally, this hall is full of children pointing, families talking, guides explaining. The fossils stand motionless in their displays, each one a silent story locked in stone. Bones that once walked oceans, roamed forests, or swam through prehistoric currents now rest under the warm glow of the museum lights. You walk slowly to the first display. Inside, a small fossilized fish lies perfectly preserved in a slab of stone. Its delicate bones form a soft pattern across the rock, fragile, intricate, peaceful. You lean in slightly, noticing the fine lines, the details, the tiny ribs like thin brush strokes. There's something calming about fossils. They've survived everything. Millions of years of pressure, time, transformation, and still they remain. You breathe a little slower. The Triceratops Gallery. You move deeper into the hall until you reach one of the museum's most beloved giants, the Triceratops. The skeleton stands low and broad, grounded, like a calm guardian. Its horns point forward, but the atmosphere around it doesn't feel fierce. It feels ancient, protective, steady. The soft golden light catches the curves of its enormous skull. The shadows fall gently across the floor, stretching like quiet brushstrokes behind the bones. You walk slowly around it. Every step echoes softly in the spacious room. Up close, you notice the details people usually rush past. The texture of the bone, the delicate ridges, the smooth curve of the frill. In this peaceful moment, the skeleton feels less like a display and more like an old soul resting after a long journey. You pause, letting the stillness sink in. Your breathing matches the rhythm of the room, slow, even, quiet. The Tyrannosaurus Rex. You move on, following the subtle downward slope of the hall until you reach the museum's most iconic resident, the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Even in the faint light, the skeleton is enormous. The rib cage rises like a dark arch above the floor. The tail stretches back into the shadows, and the skull, suspended slightly above eye level, faces you with an open jaw. But without the daytime noise, without the crowds, the T-Rex doesn't feel scary or dominant. It feels peaceful, still, almost thoughtful. You walk closer, your footsteps soft against the polished floor. The skull is illuminated by a warm spotlight that gives the ancient bones a deep, honey-colored glow. You see every tooth, every curve, every shadow inside the hollow eye sockets. The bones look smooth, almost polished by time itself. Standing beneath the towering skeleton, you feel a gentle sense of awe. Not loud or overwhelming, but calm, steady, grounding. It's like standing under an old tree on a quiet evening. You take one slow, deep breath, then continue onward. The Hall of Vertebrate Origins. This part of the museum feels different, smaller, more intimate, like a quiet library filled with ancient secrets. Inside glass cases are fossils of early creatures, tiny jawbones, delicate spines, small skulls that look almost too fragile to have survived. The hall is dimmer here, with lights focused only on the displays. Your footsteps sound softer, as though the room itself is encouraging whisper-quiet movement. You pause at a display of early amphibians. The fossil looks like the ghost of a creature pressed into stone, a painting made by time. The tiny footprints beside it look like delicate indentations in soft clay. You move your eyes slowly across the exhibits. Each fossil feels like a whisper from the past, gently telling you that everything changes, everything transforms, everything slows down. This hall has a special kind of calm, a slow, steady rhythm that seems to align with your breathing. You stay for a moment, letting that stillness settle inside you. The Hall of Meteorites. Eventually, you step out of the fossil halls and walk into a wide, cool corridor leading to another exhibit. The Hall of Meteorites. The lighting shifts to a deep cosmic blue with soft pools of white light highlighting the displays. It feels colder here, not physically but atmospherically, as though you've stepped out of Earth and into a quiet, floating space between stars. The first thing you see is a large iron meteorite resting on a pedestal. Its surface is dark, metallic, and covered with natural patterns created over billions of years. You walk closer, noticing the subtle glow of the lights reflecting off the metal. You place your hand gently near the glass. The meteorite looks heavy, grounded, ancient, a quiet visitor from somewhere unimaginably far away. You move to another display, a large, smooth slice of a palisite meteorite. The golden, translucent crystals inside shimmer softly under the lights, like stained glass windows in a silent cosmic cathedral. It's mesmerizing. You take slow, deep breaths as you admire the colors shifting in the light. Amber, gold, deep red, olive green, all glowing with a warm, calming radiance. The entire hall feels like a slow exhale, a quiet space where even the stars seem to rest. Minerals and gems, Just beyond the meteorites is another hall, this one warmer, glowing with soft yellow and pale white lights. The Hall of Minerals and Gems. The displays sparkle gently but not brightly. Everything is lit just enough to bring out the soft glow of the crystals, like tiny lanterns in a dark room. You walk between tall cases filled with minerals in every color: deep purple, soft pink, ocean blue, warm gold, pale green, snowy white. But the lighting is calm, not harsh. Nothing feels flashy or overwhelming. Instead, it feels like walking through a quiet cave filled with glowing stones. You stop at a cluster of amethysts. Its purple crystals rise like a small mountain, each point reflecting faint light. You let your eyes rest on them, letting their softness settle into your mind. Across the room, a quartz geode glows gently from the inside. The crystals look like frost on a winter window, delicate and soothing. Then a large piece of rose quartz catches your eye. Its gentle pink color seems to radiate warmth, like a soft candle held behind frosted glass. Every stone feels like a breathing, calming presence. You move slowly through the hall, absorbing the silence, the glow, the soft sparkle. It's dreamlike, grounding, perfect for calming the mind. Hall of Human Origins. After the soft glow of the gem hall, you step into a much quieter space. A hall dedicated to early humans, ancient ancestors, and the long, slow journey of humanity. The room is dim, with spotlights illuminating each display. The shadows are soft, the corners dark, giving the space a gentle, meditative feel. You pause at a skull, an early hominin, its features both familiar and distant. The soft light makes the bone look warm, almost alive. You read the small plaques slowly but without rushing. Each one feels like a quiet chapter: early tools, footprints preserved in ancient ash. The first controlled use of fire. Migration paths across continents. The room feels like a calm timeline, a slow unfolding of human history. As you walk, your breathing steadies further. Your mind feels clearer, calmer, quieter. This hall isn't about crowds or spectacle. It's about the slow, quiet story of how we came to be. And tonight, you're walking through it alone, gently, peacefully, without any hurry. Ancient cultures, Egypt, Asia, and beyond. You move on, stepping into a hallway decorated with warm earth tones and soft lighting. The atmosphere becomes richer, more textured, like opening an old wooden chest filled with stories. First, you see a large Egyptian statue carved from dark stone. The face is serene, eyes half closed, lips calm, posture balanced. The spotlight above casts a warm glow across its features, emphasizing the stillness. Nearby, a small wooden sarcophagus rests inside a glass case. Beautiful hand-painted patterns wrap around it, muted by time but still holding their quiet charm. The colors feel soft and soothing: faded blue, worn gold, dusty red. You continue to a collection of Asian artifacts. A bronze Buddha sits cross-legged on a low pedestal. The dim light reflects softly off its surface, giving it a warm, meditative aura. Its expression is so calm that you instinctively breathe slower just looking at it. Ceramic bowls, porcelain jars, delicate silk patterns, everything here feels handcrafted, precise, balanced. There is something deeply soothing about objects that were made slowly, carefully, with intention. You walk slowly along the rows of artifacts, letting your mind quiet down even more. Each object, each sculpture, each symbol feels like a soft whisper from a distant time, encouraging you to slow down gently. The quiet corridor. Eventually, you leave the galleries behind and step into a long, dim corridor lined with old paintings and bronze plaques. It's quieter here than anywhere else you've been tonight. Your footsteps sound softer, almost absorbed by the carpeting. The air feels warmer and stiller, like a cozy room in a quiet house. You pause at a large window overlooking Central Park. The outside world is dark, peaceful, and far away. The trees sway gently in the night air. A few distant lights twinkle through the branches. You stand still for a moment, letting the calm wrap around you. Then, slowly, you turn and continue walking. The museum feels like it's breathing with you. Slow, steady, relaxed.